Hey everyone, today we're going to make sweet potato pie. Now this is the first time you will actually see a video of me without actually seeing me initially. But right now, it's all about the sweet potatoes. So, we break these babies open. We're going to take 4 good sized sweet potatoes, as you can see. Good size. Okay, and we're going to place them in a pot of boiling water, and it's actually boiling right now, so just hang on for a moment. These being sweet potato pies, they're going to be mini sweet potato pies, so instead of one big pie, I'm going to do something special for you. There's going to be 12 mini sweet potato pies. You'll see the process, maybe you'll try it at home. Alright, what we're going to do here is take 2 potatoes and put 1 and 2 in that pot of boiling water, of course. And we'll do the same for the other pot. 2 very large sweet potatoes. 2 per pot. We're going to boil them for 1 hour. And in 1 hour we will come back and start the process. In the meantime, we're taking a break. Okay, the potatoes have been boiling for 1 hour now, and you can notice how easily they peel off. I'm going to peel all 4 potatoes, and then I will start the next process. Alright, now, the sweet potatoes have all been peeled. They're inside of the stainless steel pot, and they will now be mashed. In here, we have a handy dandy potato masher. I will mash these up for about 15-20 seconds, and then I'll start with the hand blender. Now I don't have my tripod, so the camera may be a little bit shaky, but the purpose of this masher is just to get them a little mashed up, so the blender doesn't have to work so hard. See that? The blender is going to come in handy when we're trying to get the little sweet potato strings out of this little mixture here. Now I think that about does it with the little hand masher. Okay, now we can start with the blender, and I will put you on my tripod so everything will be a little bit more stable. Okay, alright. Now, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. See those little strings right there? The blender is going to whip this mix together and get those little sweet potato strings out of there. We don't want any strings in our pie. Okay everyone, let's get this party started. We're about to mix up our sweet potatoes here, and as that's like a blooper, right? Now it's snapped in. We're about to get this party started. We're going to mix up all the stringy portions of our sweet potato. And I may be doing this for a few minutes here, but I want to show you something here. As I mix them, I will stop along the way, and you will notice all of these strings. I'm going to have to place you on pause. But I'm going to take this, rinse it out, repeat the process about 10 times to get all these little stringies out of our sweet potato, okay? They do that in the store as well, you just don't know it. Now you do. So, stand by. 2. Now, if you don't have a blender that's powered by electricity, you can also use a hand crank blender. It may take you 3 times as long, but there are other alternatives, okay? Now I'm going to swipe it on the top of my bowl, try to get as much string up as I can. And again, this is round number 2, and I'll do about maybe 8 rounds. Okay, let's take a look. Round number 2, just as fuzzy as round number 1, and the strings are just as long. Looks almost like a mango string. But anyway, I won't show you the 8 rounds. I'll place it on pause. You'll never know the difference. Okay, now like I said, you would miss all the other steps. This is step number 8 of the de-stringing. And you'll notice when I take the blender blades out this time, they're going to be a lot less stringy, if any strings at all, okay? And we can begin our next step, which is to Add our butter, our sugar, our carnation milk, and all the other fine ingredients that go into Melvin's sweet potato pie. Now, let's take a look at these plates here. Okay. A lot less stringy. And you'll notice that when I take my finger and run it down there, it's more sweet potato filling instead of strings, okay? You're gonna have some strings, but this is about maybe 5% of strings you probably find in your local sweet potato pie at the grocery store, okay? So again, a lot less stringy, all sweet potato. Now, if you see me sniffling, it's because I did a lot of yard work today. I don't have a cold, okay? All right, we're gonna get this party started. We've already taken care of that. Our next step, we're gonna take our eggs and beat them one by one. Actually, we can beat them all together. The recipe calls for 3 eggs. And anyone who wants the recipe, just let me know. Don't be ashamed. Hold on. And it's not to date myself, but today's date is 20 May 2012. And this is my first sweet potato pie of the new year. The last one was around Christmas time. So, here we go. Set that aside. Let's take care of these eggs right here. It says to beat 3 eggs in a separate container, which is what I'm doing right now. 4 sweet potatoes have been boiled. We have 1 stick of butter. And there's really no process necessarily of how to blend everything together. So, we're just going to go to town. Put these eggs right on in here. Or should we put the sugar first? I want to go sugar first. Now, if you don't need a lot of sugar, you might not want to eat this pie. It calls for 2 1/4 cups of sugar. So that's a good amount of sugar here. We're going to mix it all together. Oh yeah. And our eggs, we're going to go ahead and put those eggs in there. You know, it's been so long since I made it, I didn't recall putting eggs in there. And what else do we have in here? We have our carnation milk. But before we do the carnation milk, let's get the butter in there. Now what I'm going to do with this butter is put it in a mug. If I can find a mug, I'll put it in a mug and put it in a microwave. For a few seconds here. In the meantime, we're going to crack open this carnation milk. And if you feel like getting this recipe from me, just call me. I'll pass it on to you, okay? You can be 50, 60, 70. See, I was lucky enough to grow up with my great-grandmother in the house, so I'm really good at all these desserts and everything. So don't think because this 30-year-old, okay, 35-year-old, is making this dessert, and you're like 55 or 65, don't think you can't ask me for it, because I'll give you the recipe, okay? There's the butter. Now, it's kind of soupy consistency right now, but once everything gets in there, and I let it sit in the refrigerator for a while, everything will be just right. Okay. Now the recipe called for 1/4 of a can of carnation milk. Well, this is a small can, so we're gonna put about, I'd say about 2 ounces of carnation milk in there. There's carnation milk. Again, it still seems a little, not really soupy, but maybe sort of kind of. But it's all going to come out nicely, I guarantee it. Alright. Vanilla extract, 1/8 of a, no, 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now when it gets down to 1/8 of a teaspoon, I have to use my little handy dandy spoons. But here we have 1 teaspoon. And you want me to have, no, is that a teaspoon? Yes it is. And this is a tablespoon. Now, I need 1/4 of a teaspoon. So, I need to get my miniature ones out. They're hiding from me somewhere, and I'm not going to mess around with them. So, I am going to have to do a little measuring today for a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I would like to, ooh, that's about a half, but we're still going to put that in there. Now, with sweet potato pie, it also calls for lemon extract. Ouch. And it says 1/8 teaspoon of lemon extract. Really? 1/8 teaspoon? That's like a dash of lemon extract. Oh, too much, see? Who calls for 1/8 teaspoon? Never heard such a thing. There we go. A dash of lemon extract. Let's get that all mixed up. We're going to have some ground nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Alright. Now we can take this whole top off here. 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. There we go. I do have 1/2 teaspoon spoon. I just don't have it with me. Alright, just calm down, calm down. I can smell that ground nutmeg. Now I believe we have all the ingredients. We have the sugar, the potatoes, the 1 stick of butter. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I tell you, there's so many ingredients in here. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of lemon extract, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, as they say. It actually says a can of salt. That's fancy talk. We're going to call it a pinch of salt. And drop that in there. And then we also have our cinnamon, which it calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. There are so many ingredients in this dessert. I actually forgot about it. Okay. Let's mix this up, and that's it. All right, everybody, we're cleaning off our countertop. And what we're going to do here is take these ingredients. I'm going to put them in this freezer-style Ziploc bag. And I'll show you why later on. But right now, this is where my sweet potato pie mix is going. Now, you can make sweet potato pie mini pies. You can make a full-size pie. But tonight, I'm making mini pies. I will not let that go to waste. We're going to take this and we're going to salvage, there we go, that extra pie filling, because this is enough to fill up about at least 2 mini sweet potato pies. Now when I say mini, it's that little pie pan that I showed you at the very beginning. That's actually a muffin pan, or top of the muffin pan. But I came up with the creation of mini sweet potato pies. So, if I see you trying to market my mini sweet potato pies, I'll know who it is. Okay, and in the refrigerator this will go. Actually inside of another container because I spent all my time making that. I don't want to see anything happen to it. So, let's see here. If I can find some Tupperware. There we go. Something to put this in. Just as extra precaution. And in the refrigerator it will go. The pie shells, pie crust will be done in the second half of my show. So right now, just take a break. Okay everybody, we're going to get this party started. We're going to take some flour and put it on this little wax paper here. We're going to get some pie pans. Okay, these pie pans are already store-bought. Now what I need to do is actually get the pan separated from the pie, which I should have done this already, but I'll let you see it's not that hard. Because we're going to take this pie crust right here and we're going to cut it. I don't recall what I used to cut it, but I need to find something with a circumference equal to the top of the muffin dish. So, I think I used the pumpkin carving tools for that last time. Almost there. we're actually only going to make 12 mini pies. Come on out there. Come on. And you have to do this immediately after taking it out of the refrigerator or the freezer, because if you don't,